SMB Jewelry Designs. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening. As you can see, it's resin time. I'm so excited because I just went to Amazon, went shopping, and got my package delivered early. I thought it was supposed to come tomorrow, but it actually came today, so I can sit down and make some stuff and do this video with all of you. So sit back and relax and enjoy, and hopefully we'll make something pretty cool tonight. When I went to Amazon the other day, I ordered some molds because I was really struck by the idea that I wanted to make some package toppers for when you tie the ribbons and bows on Christmas presents. Oftentimes people will tie on a little extra goodie to hang on the tree or just to have as a keepsake. And I thought that's a really neat idea to make from resin. I haven't put them on presents in a very long time, and I thought it would be really cool to start. So I'm going to make this video tonight to start with some of this. So first of all, I went on Amazon and I bought myself some Christmas molds. And I also don't have an awful lot of pigment powders, mica powders. So I went and I looked at a whole bunch of different mica powders on Amazon. And I found this one from this company called Pigments. It's not anything I've heard of through other videos that I watch, but it came highly recommended, just like this UV resin did when I bought this and reviewed it a little while ago. So I thought, well, we'll give Amazon a try again with their high ratings and see if it performs the way that it's supposed to. I'll put links in the bottom, in the description box for everything that I've bought, just in case you want to go check it out for yourself. This, I want to say this came to about 25 US dollars, I think. I'm pretty sure that that's pretty close, at least at the time that I bought it, which was just a couple days ago. So you'd think I could remember that, but I can't. Anyway, I was expecting a lot of pigments. I think there was 24. Yeah, the box says 24. And I mean, when I opened the box, I was really pleasantly surprised. Not that I didn't think it was going to be 24. I knew there was going to be 24. But the little tubs that come in this box, they were all wrapped in plastic. I've obviously already opened this and looked at them. But they're nice sized little tubs. I think they're really cool, and for what I spent on them, the Pearl-Ex powders, if I had bought them in Michael's or something, would have cost me half of that for maybe 3 little tubs. Don't quote me on that, but from my remembrance of a few months ago looking at them, that's about what I remember them being. All I know is they're expensive and you only get 3 in a package, and then when you look at the bigger packages, it's obviously exponentially more expensive. Anyway, I was really pleased with the amount of product that I got. The only thing I was a little hesitant about is when I got this in the box. It was all wrapped in plastic, like I said, all the pigments were, so I lifted them out in one big bundle. And I noticed that some of them had some powder residue around the outside of them. I did wipe most of it off. You can see, I don't know if it'll come up on camera. You can see a little just there that might be shimmering under these lights right there, I think. Anyway, so I took the lid off carefully of one of them just to take a look, and they don't have any sealant between the cover and the powder. That's how they are. So not all of the jars they were all completely closed, don't get me wrong, but rather than being twisted shut, you know, there was a little bit of a gap or whatever, so a little bit of the powder could leak out. Not that that's a big deal, because I'm not planning on ingesting it, obviously. All I'm going to be doing is putting it in resin. But if one of them had been unscrewed a little bit more, you can see where that might have been a problem. But they all were like that. I didn't tamp this down, so I'm hoping for the best when I open it. But hopefully you can see that those colors are just amazing. And I got I think it's called the basic pack. I'm trying to look on the box here to see if it tells me. It says 24 colors, Really Old Pigments Company. Not for children under 5. For external use only, don't use in food. Yeah. I was trying to see if it just told me quickly what the package was. I think it was labeled on Amazon as like a basic package or something. So it came with your standard, like basic colors, but they had a lot of other packages to offer. There was an autumn set, and the more specific sets, like the autumn colors and like the tropical colors, had less pigments in them, but the price was also less. So I bought something that I thought would give me the widest variety of color without being too metallic, because I've already got some Pearl metallics that I don't really need a lot of that kind of thing. I wanted just basic colors. So, moral of the story, we're going to test this out, see if it performs as well as I hope it will. And then we'll take a look quickly at these molds, because I don't want this to be an hour-long video. But basically, the molds that I ordered all came in one set for one price on Amazon, which was really nice. I don't want that shadow, so I'm going to move that box out of the way. So I have the same snowflake mold that's here in this size. Whoops, there's a hair on there. Along with the next size down. And then I have the same exact molds in much larger sizes, which I think is really cool. So if you wanted to do some sort of a motif, a wind chime, whatever, you got various sizes to choose from. These would be great as those package toppers that could then later go on the tree. I think these would be really cute for earrings and things like that. And these for anything in between. If you've got a smaller tree that you need slightly smaller decorations for, if you just want to hang them in the window, like I said, if you want to make a sun catcher for Christmas, whatever. Really, really useful molds, so I'm excited to use these. They feel really good quality too. Again, with the company that I ordered these from, they all came in an envelope. They were all just laying in the envelope like this. No plastic over any of them, which I thought was kind of odd. Again, not that I mind necessarily, but that just creates the possibility of things becoming scratched or marred. There was a little bit of dust in some of them that I had to shake out. So I will be cleaning these up a little bit off camera before I pour any resin in them. But we also have these cute little ornaments. There's 2 bells with a Christmas tree inside one and a reindeer inside the other, and then there's one that has a snowflake. And then there's these little ones, which I thought were really cute as well. I don't know where all this hair is coming from. The silicone just attracts it like it's a magnet. But anyway, you can see there's a lot of little variations. We have a Christmas tree, a reindeer, Santa, or like a Scrooge hat. That's what makes me think of Santa's boot, Santa's hat, Santa's beard. I mean, that would be cute if you wanted to make something kind of cute out of it. Anyway, just a lot of possibilities, a lot of things to play with, to have fun with. So I'm looking forward to doing a lot of this before Christmas. So let's get into it and see what we have here. I think I'm going to start with the little tiny snowflakes, just to get a feel for how these molds perform. I'm going to do a couple of these in UV resin just to get a quick result so I can see how they look. And then I'm going to do, let me see, think about it for a second. I think I'm going to do one of the bigger snowflakes. So you can see there's, I don't know if you can pick that up on camera, there's a lot of dust in the middle there. So I will have to clean that out. But I'll do one of the snowflakes with one maybe in cellophane, and then perhaps using the mica powders in a couple of the middle-sized ones. So yeah, we'll see. We'll play around and see what we think. So I'm going to put you on pause for a second, get everything set up, get my resin mixed up, get my UV resin ready, clean up my molds, and we'll be back in just a moment. Okay, folks, we're back. If I sound a little muffled, it is because I am wearing my respirator. And yes, I only have one glove on right now. I'm going to put the other one on in a second. But what we're going to do first is we're going to prepare the resin over here that I've already got mixed up to go into a couple of these stars. I'm going to put the pre-made resin in this mold, and then we're going to put it in one of these little molds. And the reason for me doing this is I want to test out a couple of different techniques. Like I said, first I want to try putting the resin in here with some cellophane and sparkles. So I've already got the cellophane sitting over on the side. So I'm just going to mix up a little bit of these flakes. And I also have some blue, just run-of-the-mill Recollections glitter from Michaels. I'll put some of that in here. I'm going to put my other glove on. Okay, now we're going to put this resin, and I'm not entirely sure how much resin this is going to take. So I mixed up 60 milliliters. It's hopefully going to be more than I need because I want to be able to use some extra on a separate project that I've got going on. And the cup that I'm using here was already stained blue from an alcohol ink I used yesterday, so it wasn't dirty. From what I just opened up, but otherwise this mold is clean. So I'm going to get ready to pour my resin in here. So for this one, I'm going to leave my respirator on as well because I don't want to be breathing any of that powder in. So I've chosen a purple, and there's a pretty white here as well. Just going to tamp these down a little bit, try to get the powder to sit. Inside the container rather than flow out. All right, I'm going to get one of my brushes. So this is just a little makeup brush. Get some off the cap here. I'll go for something kind of easy to start with. That brush is going to be too big. So there's another one. It's a little bit more flexible. And by too big, it meant it was going to be too wide. Grab a little bit more from the lid here. Sorry if my hand's in the way. Like I said, all I'm doing is just going around filling all those cavities in. Tap out a little bit of the extra. Put the cover back on the purple. And I'm going to I want to use the white next. But before I do that, I'm going to get a wipe out. And I just want to clean up some of these areas, especially in the middle, because I don't want that purple in there. Give that a second to dry. Come in here, clean that. Obviously we don't want any water in there. I'm going to clean off my brush, get the powder out of there, and I'm going to go into my white. I want the white pigment just in the middle. And there might be a little touch of purple in here from the other pigment, but if there is, I'm not terribly worried about it. But there's a nice little, hopefully you can see that sheen in there. So those powders look like they're performing pretty well. There's a little bit of clumpiness to them, so I'm just going to flick a little bit of that out. Clean off my brush again. Okay, and we're back. So, off camera, so you guys didn't have to be in pain watching this, I went and poured 2 more of these snowflakes. I poured the 2 more because I didn't want the first one and me going in there and scooping out all of that extra resin. I didn't want that to be our attempt at making this and using the mica powders and having it fail because I was scooping a bunch of resin out because I over poured. So I decided I would paint this one with the mica powders. So I have used a deeper kind of turquoisey green on the outer part of the snowflake, and on the inner part I used a deeper green. I don't remember which colors I used. I'm not going to worry about it too much. This is just to see and to test how these are going to turn out. Then I poured the resin in, and I was careful while I was pouring it to make sure that I wasn't going to run into the same issue. And then this one over here, I had a separate project that I just moved out of the way, but I had used the same mica powders that we just bought, and I mixed them up with the resin, and I had poured them into another mold that I'm making for a separate project, and the extras that I had left over that you can see here, I poured into this snowflake to see how that would turn out. So I'm eager to see how all these work. So it's a test of painting them in and then pouring the resin, or mixing them in with the resin and then pouring the resin. And then over here with this other snowflake, it's just testing out the mold. So this one, if you remember, it was just clear resin mixed in with cellophane flakes and glitter. And then we have the other ones here that I use the UV resin. And I'm going to pop these out now. There were a few tiny little bubbles, and I tried my best to get them out, but not all of them came out perfectly. So I'm just going to pop these out. Oops, probably help if I was centered here. And before I end up dropping something in that, I'm going to get that out of the way. So this is one of the little snowflakes. Now I didn't turn my mold over and get it from the other side, but this side is cured perfectly fine. This side is just a little sticky because I didn't flip my mold over, but I don't know if you can see that. It turned out really, really cute. There you go. So that's one. Here's the middle one. That one looks really cool. And that one turned out really nice. And the last one here. And all of these turned out really well. The UV resin worked very well. I did 3 hits under the UV light with 90 seconds on each, and they cured really well. And I have learned that with UV resin, this more shallow the pore, the harder it is to cure sometimes. The thicker the pore, the better the cure comes out. These are very, very thin, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get them to cure perfectly, but these look fantastic. I'm really, really, really happy with those little baby ones. So more to come from these for sure. So this was just a test tonight to see how everything turned out. Tomorrow I will be coming back over and taking a look at the snowflakes that we poured over here. These ones over here. This was a separate pour that I did with some extra resin as well. So we'll be looking at these and this one when they settle and set up. And it's going to be about 12 odd hours from now, but just a blink of the eye for you. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hi guys, we're back. So it's been a little bit since I first filled these molds up. I'm just going to quickly go through with you and share my final thoughts and unmold the ones that we poured the other day. It's been a couple of days since I did this, so they're good and set now. So as far as the little snowflakes go, the mold was super cute. The mold itself worked really well. As I said, I'll put links to everything down in the description. Off camera, whoops, I did a couple more castings, still with UV resin, and they just turned out wonderful. I'm very, very pleased with this little mold. The UV resin that I've been using worked amazingly well. I put it under my lamp for, like I said, 3, excuse me, maybe 4 times on the 90-second setting, and no stickiness. They all turned out great, so I'm very happy with that. I will be making more of these little guys for sure. And they would be perfectly well with just regular casting resin. I just wanted to test them with the UV. All right. This was one of the snowflakes that I did after the fact with the mica powders that I bought. Those Rolio mica powders. And love it. Love the colors. Love the shimmer from the powder. The powder works amazingly well. It's very pigmented. Overall, extremely pleased. So putting the mica powder directly in the resin and just pouring it in, wonderful. Let's do these little small ones. So this was the first one I did, the one I had to scoop some out of. And still a little bit of overflow, but I'll take care of that later on. But that's what the one snowflake looks like. Really pretty. I think the mica powders were perfect on this. They give just enough shimmer, and these were the ones that were added to the mold, not mixed in with the resin. Really happy with it. I think they look nice. Or at least that one looks nice, I should say, not they, but that one. Especially if you can see it up against the backdrop of my mat there. All right. This is the one I did after the fact because I was afraid that my scooping out of the resin was going to make it not as good as it should be and could influence the mica powder. So this is the one that I did separately. And it's just a very subtle green, but I think for something like this, that's what you want. So I think it really depends, again, on what you want and what you're looking for. I'll zoom in on that, sitting against the blue so you can see it a little better. But I think, depending on, like I said, the look that you want, these powders just work wonderfully, and I couldn't be happier with the molds. I think the molds are amazing. So any concerns I had about them being in the package without any plastic didn't seem to impact them whatsoever. Like I said, they were a little dirty. That's cleanable. Otherwise, good quality molds. Didn't have any issues with them. Everything popped right out. Couldn't be happier. All right, and here's one of the big boy molds that we did. And this one, remember, was clear casting resin. I did not put the mica powder in this one. This is purely holographic cellophane flakes and blue glitter. Just run-of-the-mill average blue glitter. And I haven't unmolded this before, so this is my first time seeing it with you guys. And that turned out very, very pretty. I am super, super, super pleased with that. I don't know if it's picking up all the colors on my phone, but in person, this is just beautiful. It's got those little holographic flakes right there in the middle that give it that little bit of a shimmer. Then you can see a few up in other parts. And then the blue glitter just adding to the sparkle and the shine. The little loop at the top came out perfectly. It's a nice width. I'm really, really happy. I think these molds are going to be fantastic for what I wanted them for. And the great thing about these, which is what I'm planning on doing with some of the smaller ones as well, you can cast a couple of these, put them back to back against each other, and have a 3D if you don't want something with a flat back, if you wanted to hang it in the window or even make an ornament that you didn't want so flat on one side. Put them together with some resin, let them sit, glue them together, use UV resin, whatever you want to do. But yeah, I'm super, super happy, very pleased. All right, well, I think that does it for everything that we worked on in this video. I am over the moon about these molds and super hyped up about the pigment powders. I think the Rolio powders are exactly what they were described to be on Amazon's website. I don't know how they could improve on it. Again, I haven't done a ton with mica powders other than the few that I have, so this is a learning experience for me as well. But I'm going to say my first impressions of this are they did the job. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They're very nicely pigmented, and I'm very happy with them. All right, well, that's it for this video. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. Like it if you enjoyed this video, if you'd like to see me testing more things, or if you'd like to see other things being done. Subscribe if you already haven't. And if you were a returning viewer, appreciate it. Share it with other folks. Spread the love so I can grow. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. Next week is Thanksgiving. If I don't see you then, have a great Thanksgiving. And bye.